After many technical difficulties, we are here. Third time's the charm. Number three, Brandon Ingram coming to Toronto. 30 years for the Raptors. Do you believe in numbers? Do you believe in coincidences? How are you, sir?
I'm good. I'm very good. Thank you very much, and thanks for bringing the name of Brandon Ingram there. I think he's going to be well fitted with our team what we have this year. And this is maybe nothing happens this year, but it's all for the next year. Next year we are going to have a very good and solid team.
Amazing. As an immigrant myself coming to Canada, I have followed your story so closely. It's such an inspiration. You are truly like one of the most effervescently positive human beings. And to those of you, listening now who you've been sleeping under a rock, you've seen this man every day, every year, win, loss, lottery, tank, good times, bad times, and you're there. And all the players salute you, they know who you are. You're like a cultural icon. So I'm very honored to have you. It's a brilliant. I'm very happy to Hellman's for setting this up.
Well, thank
So
you very much. Thank you very much. I am really blessed to know not just the players of my team only, but all the players from the other teams, the coaches from the other teams, the referees from the other teams, and the commissioners and everybody. So, it's all good. I'm really blessed to have been there now all these 30 years. My journey has been just all organic, but all blessed.
it's amazing how many you're such a part of so many iconic moments in Raptors history. If you remember Scottie Barnes, three dribbles, that dunk. Only player I've seen do that is Giannis and Shaq.
And
And
Banton once again defensively. Running the floor.
and the
Yeah.
first person he went to when he was celebrating was you. That was
Yes.
so great. You're part of everything. So it lines up perfectly to my first question. I promise the rest of the interview is not going to be this smooth, but this lines up perfectly. What are your three favorite moments from the past 30 years?
Oh, well, there have been, well, I have more than three, but the one
I'm
I'm going to tell
positive.
you is the best one has been the night before last Sunday game. It was the most amazing game this season I have witnessed. It was so much energy, positive energy playing the stars like KD, Booker, and all of them are my good buddies. And seen them beaten up, we beat them up in such a nice way. It was so much energy. And, yeah, we might not make the playoff this year, but that energy which the fans had and the hopes that fan had, it was so amazing. That was the one moment I would say. And then the second moment, I think everybody remembers that the moment with the Philadelphia when they were in the seventh game, and
Mm,
Kawhi shot that from the corner, and the ball went one time, two time, three time, four time, and went in. That's the time I knew that Jesus wants us to win the championship, because that doesn't happen. I've never witnessed something like that before, and watching it on my own court, it was so amazing.
you're saying God pushed that ball in. He
God wanted
said,
us to win. God wanted us to be the champion that year. And then another thing, that same series with
mm,
there were so many ionic moments with Vince Carter, doing the dunks on the court during his time in Toronto. It was
mm,
just so many moments. But the other moment which was ionic was when Milwaukee on the championship series 2019, they came and they were 2-0. We were 0-2. And everybody thought that it's going to be a clean sweep and Milwaukee is going to beat us for four straight games, and we won the third game. And I was standing there picking on Giannis and calling him names, but in a good way, nothing in any offended way. But we won that. He missed six free throws, and after that game, Coach Nurse came to me and said, "Now this game belongs to you. You are the one who got us one."
wow.
So there are so many, but those are during the championship run, it was just an amazing
Do you
moment.
remember
Some
how long Giannis took to hit those six free throws? Did he take like 8
like
hours?
he did about 10, 12, 13. We
15
didn't used to
seconds?
count. We didn't used to count at that time.
Okay.
But yes, he takes a little bit extra time.
And he still misses them. It's
And
amazing.
and you know what? After the loss of that series, he
Mm,
said, I'm not scared of anybody to play against. I'm not scared of Drake. I'm not scared. And it's still on the YouTube. You can see this. He
Mm,
said, I'm scared of that guy in the turban. He picks so hard on you. He makes you nervous. And I don't want to play against him. So that was a good compliment. And I have met him so many times after that. And we had fun of each other. He's a great guy. He's a good human being. And he became a champion after that. But he told me all that year, now you
mm,
stole my ring that year.
mm. You know, so many people they bring up Kevin Durant's injury and they say, "Well, if that hadn't happened," people don't realize the Raptors had probably one of the hardest roads to the championship ever. There were 4 contenders that year: Philly, Milwaukee, Golden State, and Toronto. And
You're
Raptors had
right
to
on
face
that.
all of them.
You're very right. Talking about KD on that time when KD got hurt,
Mm,
everybody, he thought that he was, people are cheering because he went down, and later on, I wrote it and I talked to him and I wrote and I sent a message uh, uh, on the Twitter that, look, guy, we were not cheering. We didn't know you were hurt that bad. We were just
of course.
cheering, in a
Yeah.
different way, in a sportsman way, but we didn't
Yeah.
cheer for you to get hurt. And he understood that. And
Mm,
yeah, but I think God was on that. There was a lot of things which happened. Kevin Durant going down, then Clay Thompson going down in the sixth game. It
mm.
was. I think God wanted us to win that year the championship.
You need a little bit of luck to win a championship, but I gotta shift gears and ask you a question because a lot of people know you as the super fan. Okay. What does being a fan mean to you?
Well, fan to me means that you're cheering for the team. You want your team to win,
Mm,
and you are a part of their winning parties, winning celebrations, and you are a part of their sorrows and their losses.
mm,
But for me, it has been a just a different thing. I never dreamt that as a fan I will be the grand marshal of the biggest parade. I
mm.
didn't dream that you will be getting the same championship ring which Kawhi got. You
That's
don't
crazy.
dream that you are going to be installed in the Hall of Fame. You don't dream as a fan those things. But it has been a extraordinary blessings from the Almighty, and I have taken it everything in on behalf of all the Raptor fans and all the basketball fans.
You know, I think it's almost it's almost cutting it short calling you just a fan because you're so much more than a fan. I tell you, I've studied you very much. I've followed your career from afar. You've been a huge inspiration. Where I always felt like when I was a kid, I felt that feeling that if you're an immigrant, people look at you a little bit differently,
Hmm.
struggling to learn the language, all these things. And you always had this powerful message. So not only I think you're a fan, of course you're a fan, you're waving the towel, you're talking to the players, you're cheering your team on, but you're also an ambassador. You're also a leader. I think you're also like I think you're a catalyst for change and positivity. Buying thousands of tickets for kids for Basaki. It's
Yeah.
really just one of the most amazing things. And when I look at the Raptors now, I see so many building blocks that have come into this. Brian Colangelo, Tim Lywicki, Masai Ujiri, and the incredible leaders that have come into this have always spoken with the spirit of inclusivity, international. You're the perfect poster child for the last 30 years of Raptorland. So I'm very honored to be talking to you. Really, honestly, I'm not trying
Thank you.
to,
Thank you very
you
much.
know,
You know what? Deep inside, I love this sports. I think this
mm,
sport is the best sports on this planet. It's the most
agreed.
exciting. It's the most entertaining.
Mm,
And, I'm using just this sports the way God has placed me with all the good things around me. I'm
mm.
using this sports to bring the world together in a positive way, in a good way, irrespective of any color, gender, or, what we're wearing and all that together. And that's what I'm trying to do. And that's what I want to continue doing. In the end, I want the people to come together, one love, one word.
Mm. Both my parents passed away, and the only thing that really connected us was basketball. When my mom and I were going through that awkward teenage phase where we didn't have anything to say, all we could talk about was the Raptors. When my dad and I didn't have anything in common when I was young, what we could talk about, the last game I played. Basketball is a great catalyst to bring people to the living room together. So you said exciting. And when I think exciting and I think Raptors, there's one player that stands above all else. Now, Scottie's my favorite player, and DeMar was amazing. But when
Oh,
I think exciting, I think elbow in the rim. I think 360 jam. I think Mr. Vince Carter. Now, I was so heartbroken when Vince left, not because he left. I was always cheering for him.
mhm.
I was heartbroken because of how he left. I was
Yeah.
heartbroken to see what fans did to his jersey. I was heartbroken because I knew how much he loved Toronto. And watching this entire journey, and I've pushed for 15 years, please retire his jersey. Let him be the first. I love Kyle, but let Vince be the first. You don't get to Kyle without Vince. Because when Kevin Durant says, the Raptors were my favorite team growing up, he's basically saying, I love Vince Carter. So many people today have finally given Vince his flowers, from RJ Barrett to Tristan Thompson to Jamal Murray to Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. This is the guy who introduced this sport to millions of Canadians. You had a special relationship with Vince all the way through. He loves you so much. So I want to ask you, how has your relationship changed and grown over the years since Vince has been touring the NBA, and the guy who was once called, oh, he doesn't love the game, played the game till 44? Tell them, Vince. And I want to know, what were your emotions? Because I was in tears when his jersey was retired.
Well, I was there, and I think you said all the right things, all the things I believe what you said are the true things. And he genuinely deserved the first jersey to be retired, because there
Mm,
might not have been a Raptors, just like, the Grizzlies, they left.
mm,
There
yeah.
might not have been Raptors if it was not the excitement which VC brought. And not everywhere he went, not just our home stands were sold out. Everywhere he went, that
Mm,
it was sold, because he put up a show every day. Hey, I almost got a divorce because of him, because after every time I came from the game, I saw the game again. How did Vince do this? How did Vince do that? I almost got a divorce. So, with that, because I was, but he's my, like you asked me that how my relationship with him, every minute of the last 20 some years, 23, 24 years, my relationship, I'm not his friend. We are a family. He treats me like a family. And I treat him like a family. And it was an amazing time. And kudos to the Raptors. They did it in such a classy way, the retirement of the jersey and all the
mm,
events which were done during 3-4 days during that time. And like I said, he is Raptor. He's the survival of the Raptors, the making the Raptors on a stronghold. Everybody knows that. All the players knows that. And I agree with what you just said, that he was Mr. Raptor, and it was correctly given the flowers to retire his jersey first.
I'm so happy to see that number 15 in the
Yeah.
Raptors, to know that no one will ever wear that again. That's great for me.
Yeah.
I got a question for you. Who is your all-time Raptors tough guy starting five? The toughest five guys that you can think of. We're talking the board grinders. We're talking the hustle guys. We're talking the guys who play hurt. There's been so many tough Raptors. I feel like
Yeah, well,
you're one of the.
Antonio Davis always played tough. Oakley always played tough. Uh, there was a guy. Go ahead. You're
I'm
telling me
showing you
some.
two.
Two.
I'm
Okay,
counting
two.
two.
Yeah, two. I think Velchunas doesn't get that, but Velchunas played very hard also at times. He was
Okay.
a very, very good Raptors, and another family of mine. He's like a family to me.
Okay.
And there was a kid by the name of O'Neal. He came from Pacers. He used to play
Jermaine
pretty
O'Neal.
hard. Yeah, he played pretty hard. And then else, who else? You tell me the next one, the fifth one.
Kyle Lowry.
Yeah, he played very tough. Yeah, I'm going on the positions of number 5 and 4. But yes, as a point guard, he always gave himself away, man.
Mm,
He was always there. So, and
absolutely.
I believe that he should be the next one to get the retired jersey number 7.
Mm. Uh, I want to ask you one question. If the 2019 team hadn't won it, okay, is there, if I know that they won it, but is there another team in Raptors history that you can think of that can give that 2019 team a
It
good
is.
show?
It is very tough. I would say that maybe 2001, that team,
Vince.
maybe with McGrady in, with McGrady in, but
Okay.
but not without that. It's very tough. Winning a championship is very hard. I was
I agree.
talking to Jason Tatum yesterday night, and they are the champions. And I was talking to Brown last night. I was talking to Alford last night. These all were saying that it's not easy. Let me tell you, I told Brown last night, he got hurt a little bit. I said, hey, son, make sure you take care of me. Take care of yourself. Without you, Brown, they're not going to win another second championship. It's tough because right now they're all good. They're all good. They're playing the best basketball, but it's not. Cleveland is playing good basketball. Cleveland is playing amazing. I think, look at Lakers. Lakers are playing amazing basketball. So I believe that but it's not easy. Denver is all of a sudden, I think, playing good basketball. So there are some teams. It's going to be a fun championship run.
I agree. Uh, there's so much that's happened in the Raptors land over the last few years. A lot of franchise legends have left. We've got a lot of new faces, emerging talents. We got 5 rookies that I
Yeah.
very much call the Jurassic 5. I love them all. There's so much. What are your thoughts on the current Raptors? Scottie Barnes, Emmanuel Quickly, and the newly added Brandon Ingram, RJ Barrett. What are your thoughts on this team, and where do you see this team going forward?
I think they have done a good job by getting Ingram because Ingram is a very offensive player. If he stays healthy, if the team stays, health is very important in any team. You have to stay healthy. And I believe that if we stay healthy next year, I think next year we will definitely be the top 4 teams in the East because offense-wise, and I think you must have seen, I think it seems to me that you are into Raptors basketball. You see, when they play very good defense, they win. They win.
Sorry.
And this young kid, Shed, number 23, Shed, 5'10", 5'11", maybe 6 foot at the most. But when he plays defense, and look at when Scottie wants to play defense, he can play defense. He played the defense, the best defense I saw him play against KD on Sunday.
Scottie just locks up stars. He's done it to
but-
Jokic.
but
you remember?
he-
You remember last year against Steph Curry?
Yep.
Worst
he has
game
to
of
do
Steph's
that.
life.
But he has to do that consistently. You can't do one game and take break on the other 2 games. No, consistently you have to make a habit to play because defense creates offense.
I completely agree with
And
you.
offensively, we have RJ Barrett, we have Grady Dick, we have Quickly, we have some good and with Ingram. Ingram is a good 2-point shooter within 10, 12 feet, and he's also a good 3-point shooter. So offense-wise, we are going to be amazing. We are going to. These boys can create with a good defense. Lot of offensive tools for us.
So the future is bright, and I completely agree with you. It's very, very bright.
If anybody who's depressed about this year, don't be depressed because we are going to be surprising next year with what Masai is doing right now. I think next year you're going to see the seeds. And Coach Darko, give him some flowers also. He has taken a lot of negativism, but he's standing there around and he's working on every game. He works very hard. I think next year you will see the results of that.
I completely agree with you. Now, I had a chance to check out some of your Hellmann's content, and it's amazing. You are a complete natural. You're so full of joy and life, and that's almost the best thing on camera.
And I love food. I
love food too, man. I love so much Indian food. Actually, this is
you don't show off, but you don't show off, my friend. But I do show off. Look at here.
Hey, this the camera. The camera. They say camera adds 10 pounds. My camera is hiding 20 pounds. Okay. Okay. So I got one. I got to ask you, how did you get involved with Hellmann?
Well, I think they thought that, hey, this guy is a fat guy. He probably loves food. He loves spicy. He's Indian. He loves spicy food. And you know what? It was natural for me to say yes. I always was a fan of Hellmann's product, and I have their mayo in my fridge. And I used to, not just with the pakoras, with the samosas, I do the mint mayo dip, I also eat that with the pizza, and because if I'm taking 2 or 3 slices, my wife doesn't like this because usually if I eat 2 pieces of veggie pizza, if I'm using the dip, I'm using 4 or 5 pieces. And she says, oh, it's not good for you, this and that and that. But it's so nice and spicy and tasty. And I take it. I take it with. And so, it was a natural for me to say them, yes, I'll be a part of this.
That's perfect. And I gotta get your top 3 dishes from anywhere in the world. Your 3 dishes, your go-tos. You had a hard day. You're craving food. Like, what are the 3 things?
Well, one will be the Indian food. Indian food. Uh, I love my dal chawal. I love it. Rajma chawal, dal chawal. I love them.
I love rajma chawal as well.
Spicy one with
Mm,
the onions on the side and with the green pepper. I love that. I also love my pakoras. Pakoras I love as a appetizer. Pakoras
mm.
with the mint mayo rata dip. With
Mhm.
Hellmann, and I love that. Like I said, I love that dip also with the other foods like the pizzas, samosas, anything else. Even sometimes you just toast, toast and put it on a grill and put some paste on that and
What about
rata dip on it.
what
It's
about
very
mutton
tasty.
chicken?
Try that. Try that.
What
And
ab
then my third one is a Mexican food. I love
Oh,
Mexican food. I love salsa. I love chips. And whenever I go, I mean, on the road when I go for a game, let's say I go to Washington or I go to San Francisco or I go somewhere, my outlet is to have Mexican food. I don't eat just one meal. My 4 or 5 meals are at the same restaurant because I love Mexican food. I love the spices. I love the vegetarian burritos with the enchiladas and burritos and all that. I love it,
mm,
and I love those chips with the salsa, hot salsa, and the waiter. One little small cup of salsa is not enough. I take 10, 12 salsa cups to eat with the chips, and then I go into my main. So I love that. I love those kind. I also so these are the foods which I really dig on.
I love it. I mean, we have the same taste. That's amazing. So Nav's episode, it's the series is called Hellman's Raptors Kitchen, and you can go watch Charles Oakley. You can watch Nav, and his episode is now available on YouTube. You can definitely go check it out. I'd like to give a big thank you to Hellman's for setting this up, and also a big thank you to you. It's been a real honor to talk to you.
Well, thank you very much for having me on with you. But I would tell the people that this go to Hellman's Canada on Tube and share watch my mint mayo rata dip. And it's not just for the pakoras only. Guys, try with samosa, try with pizza, try with the toasted bread. You will love it. You will love it. And I want to again thank you again for having me on.
It's
And
my pleasure.
I want to thank Hellman for making me a part of this exciting, uh, you know, all the events which they did with the Oakley and the Raptor and all that. It was amazing to be a part of it.
Pleasure to have you. Thank you so much, Nav.